Alright, it's Dennis back here at the chicken house. If you got a moment, go on there, down on the bottom, hit subscribe. I could use 1,000 followers so I get the channel reviewed. I'm going to be doing a lot more with the chickens and other stuff. Not just the chickens, but this is one thing that I do. And I think it may be worth it. And maybe I got some tips for you that may help you with your chickens. So anyhow, a couple weeks ago I did the video on the soft eggs. You could go back and look at that. You'll see the soft eggs. I had two. I had one that was like really rubbery, and I had one that had like soft shell. So we're gonna pull these eggs out of the nesting box, and we have a real nice one there. Probably jumbo, super jumbo. And we got some extra larges, some larges in there. Not one soft shell since I used the apple cider vinegar. That said, I use apple cider vinegar. I was switching from Rooster Booster. I was using Rooster Booster in the heat because that has some enzymes and things in there and electrolytes and different things. So I'm going to switch to apple cider for a while, and then maybe I'll go back to the Rooster Booster. You know, it doesn't hurt to switch it up. Get some different enzymes into the chicken's digestive system, so maybe that helps switching it up. Also, I use year-round into the layer feed. I add in some calcium in the form of crushed oyster shells, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute. And I also use diatomaceous earth, and I put that in there because that keeps the digestive tract clean, and they run into any worm issues or anything like that. You definitely want to get those worms and everything dried out and move through their system. So we're going to move over to the over here where I mixed the feed. I pulled everything out, and we'll mix up the feed next. Hey, we're back here at the side of the chicken house. A little on the economics. What you want to do, you can buy these oyster shells, 5 pounds, usually about $5, or you can buy the whole 50-pound bag for about $9.99. That was the Tractor Supply price. I'm not sure what the local, like at Rick's Saddle Shop, sometimes I buy things there, sometimes I go to Tractor Supply, depending on what's available and who's got what. Diatomaceous earth, make sure you have food grade. It says food chemical code grade right there. So this is what the chickens are going to eat. You're going to coat their food with this stuff. Make sure you wear an N95 mask for respiratory protection or better. And I use either Purina or Nature's Best, organic. I only feed organic because whatever they eat, you're going to be eating their eggs. So you want to make sure you feed them good quality food. So oyster shells, that's the crushed oyster shells, and that's the diatomaceous earth. Remember, N95 mask, that's what I use. You don't want to get that into your lungs, because if that's too much of that sticks in there, and you can end up something similar to like almost asbestos, where you can end up getting cancer from it, because diatoms are like little tiny fossils and they can stick in your lungs. So you definitely wear some respiratory protection, even when you're spreading that either on the chickens or in their nesting boxes and all that kind of stuff. Make sure you have respiratory protection on. Okay, this is not super scientific. You definitely want to put the N95 mask on. Keep that, when I put the diatomaceous earth in there or anything else, you don't want to get that stuff in your lungs. And then if you ever wanted to know what's actually in your chicken feed, every bag has this on here. It's required to have that. So you can see what the analysis is of what protein and calcium and all that kind of stuff. And how much you need to put in. Just seems that I need to help supplement a little more for one reason or another. So then I'll add in some of the oyster shells, some of the diatomaceous earth. See how that stuff is blowing around? You don't want to get that in your lungs. And we're gonna mix. And then this is the other brand, this is Nature's Best. It also has that tag on there that's required. You know, non-GMO, USDA organic, all the stuff you need to know. It's all on that tag right there. A little more oyster shell. Looks like it needs a little more diatomaceous earth, so just scoop a little out of the bag. Remember, food grade. Food grade, or pharmaceutical grade when you're using that stuff. Okay? Don't hurt to mix it all up, because what you're trying to do is trying to get that stuff coated onto the feed. Okay. Next bag. I usually just mix 2 bags at once, but I'm trying to make some room in the garage. That's why I'm mixing a little more than I normally do. And the weather's cooperating. You got good temperatures coming up. So here's the full-size bag. There's a little valve on here. So open that up. Dump that in there and we'll mix this up. Now remember, your food already has some in there. So just kind of supplementing what's already in there. My chickens seem to need a little bit more calcium than normal. So it won't hurt them, but you don't want to like go too crazy with it. More diatomaceous earth, and then we'll mix this up. If you start getting too much diatomaceous earth at the bottom of your feeders, you put too much in. So you've got to kind of monitor this. And a little bit of trial and error. But it seems to have solved my egg issues. For the chicken, so it's not too much chicken. Now, calcium's not leaving the bones of the chicken. That's salty for them. Okay. That's pretty much mixed up, and usually as I go along, I'll mix it up a little more as I feed it into the feeders. But you can see like little pieces of oyster shells and stuff in there. But it's really important to wear that N95 mask so you don't get that diatomaceous earth in your lungs. Even when you, like I'll even use it around into the nesting boxes, around the chicken house. It'll help stop the mites and things like that. Keeps pests under control. So always put the mask on. And even, especially when you're dusting. If you're ever doing dusting, make sure you have that. Note to self, when you're working with the electric fence, make sure you shut it off. That was an eye-opening experience. But anyhow, this is the calcium supplement I make. You can see the shells, the oyster shells in here, the egg shells, and this is egg yolks that I make. You could look back in the previous video that I made, and it will show you how to make it. And then I feed this to the chickens. Every once in a while, I don't really eat the yolks that much. I eat one yolk in my omelet versus a bunch. So you can see how they really like this. So you just break it up and throw it out there. And they really like it. So make sure you subscribe to the video channel. I will be doing predator protection, which I just got zapped by. And I just shut the electric fence off. I use a solar one. And then I also am going to be replacing this hawk netting next week. So I'll have another video ready for you. And I'll show you some pictures of some hawks where they actually walk around this fence and try to get the chickens, and they can't get in here. But hey, you guys, what are you doing? There's some holes and things in here from when we had an ice storm last year. I made some repairs, but it's time to replace it. So it's a few years old, so I'll get this out of here. Anyhow, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000.